too early to say on the prognosis for Mo Salah, but it was quite a concerning moment when he grabbed his left hamstring. And it was his reaction with the home crowd here at Anfield. It felt like it could have been a goodbye. Did you sense that too, that he was feeling it could be?
My honest answer is that yes, yeah. The way he came off, that went through his mind, I think, because he also know how there are only a few weeks to go. But we're hoping for the positive that he will be able to play for us again this season. And let's wait and see. We don't know when a player comes off. Of course, tests have to be done, and then you have to wait for the results to see how bad it is. But painful to see, especially for himself. But again, we played a game where we picked up an injury, and that has happened a lot of times this season, and today again as well.
Arne Slot talking about Mo Salah. Their big question, even though Liverpool got the important victory, is whether Mo Salah will be able to bring the curtain down on his Liverpool career in kind of the fitting way to get his farewell.
Yeah, it's sad, and the way he goes down again. You know, you look at players' reactions, and he goes down there, holds his hamstring straight away, then goes back down again, and then, as he said, the fanfare and the way he clapped the supporters. It seemed like you probably won't see him again. And you normally know when you pull a hamstring, you kind of know whether it's Eze. We saw Eze go off earlier on in the Arsenal game, and you could see him smiling and all that. His reaction there kind of tells you it's a little bit worse than.
There's certain. I don't know too many hamstrings that you could come back from in 2 weeks, 3 weeks. It's if you've pulled something, then it's probably that's probably it, Jules.
Yeah, just looking at Liverpool's remaining Premier League fixtures, 4 to go. Man United next, but then Chelsea at Anfield, Aston Villa away, and Brentford at Anfield on the final day of the season. Wondering if Salah will recover in those 4 weeks and get the farewell. You don't think so?
I don't think so. I think hamstrings, unless it's... I don't know any hamstrings that can be done in 2 weeks, and then you need to test it in that next week, and then maybe the last week, depending on how bad it is. I don't know how he's going to come back from that so quickly.
I know he'd want that farewell, but he's also got a World Cup to think about.
Yeah, exactly, and that's what they'll be looking at. They'll giving him as much treatment as possible, because even if he could come on for 10 minutes at the end of the game, the last home game, they'd try to do that if they could. I just felt by his reaction and the way he was, that might be the last time we see him at Anfield. Today.
Yeah, Arne Slot saying, hoping for a positive that he will be able to play for them again. Alexander Isak scoring the opening goal. It was his first Premier League goal at Anfield. What about the finish?
Yeah, it was, Salah does well here. Bullies him off the ball, and then the ball goes in, and then looks like the chance is gone. McAllister has the shot, great touch there, but then somewhat fortuitous with the finish. Just kicks it into the ground, and that's what gets it over the goalkeeper. But he doesn't care how it goes in. His first goal at Anfield. He's been waiting for that for a long time now.
I think that I know the second touch, the strike wasn't great, but the first touch was a shot. Remember, so that's coming at you at real pace. So for him to even be able to control it, to get the shot off was brilliant. But sometimes you get that luck in front of goal. He's just kind of mishit it and it's bounced in. It's bounced in. It's a good goal for him.
Yeah, talking about luck, he's not had much of that at the start of his Liverpool career. Yeah. So that would have been big for him to score his first Premier League goal at Anfield. And good news for them going into the final few weeks of the season. Yeah,
it seems like they've found a little bit of momentum. He's back in the side and scoring goals. And so, Arnie will be looking at and feeling like there's some positives. I know it hasn't been a great season for Liverpool in terms of where they are, but with those players back, hopefully they can give themselves a good push and stay in those Champions League places.
As well as for someone like Isak, the way it's gone for him, the way he's come from the Newcastle to go to Liverpool, for him to finish the season strong, scoring goals, and that can give him momentum to come into the season next season, and maybe they could kick on again, Liverpool.
Let's look at a controversial moment from the game. It was Palace's goal to pull one back and make it 2-1. It came from Munoz, but Freddie Woodman is down at this point in time. What would you guys have done?
I'd have done what Munoz done. I
put it in the back of the net.
Put it in the back of the net, and then you go from there. Yeah. You're hoping, because we've seen the Paolo Di Canio stop when he sees a goalie go down, but I think Freddie Woodman carried on playing.
Yeah.
Munoz has to do this. All of his teammates will be saying, just put it in the net and then we'll go from there.
Yeah.
That's what you have to do. You've got Arne Slot saying what you're doing. he'd want his player to do the same thing. You have to put the ball in the net, and then they make the decisions after that.
Is it unsporting? I don't know. I think you put it in the back of the net. The player stays on the pitch as well, by the way. If he'd have gone off,
Yes.
conversation might have been a bit different. But the fact that he stayed on the pitch, he's done the right thing.
Exactly.
Yeah, Fred.
The rule is clear. If you get hit on your head, the referee has to stop immediately. On the other side, just, let's say, play it for the future. If the keeper makes a save and he always stays on the grass, that means you never get a second shot, because the referee has to stop, and he also could continue the game until the end. Maybe in that moment he felt a little bit of pain, but I think it was not that we have to stop the game, and especially Dani Munoz didn't see it.
Some players would maybe stop, some players would score. I don't blame him for that as much as I blame as much as I would wanted the referee to stop the game.
Mo went off. What's the early prognosis?
Yeah, what's the prognosis? That's too early to say, but we all know Mo, how hard it is for him to leave the pitch. If we're 6-0 up and I take him out 2 minutes before the end, he's still like, I could have scored 2 more. So for Mo to leave the pitch, that tells you something, but we have to wait and see how bad it is.
Word about Freddie as well. Started today, some great saves.
Thought he was outstanding. Thought he was so good. Maybe people out with the change room when they seen the team line and things maybe thought, our third choice goalie, maybe a bit inexperienced in the Premier League, but the lads, the coaching staff, everyone behind him, had so much faith in him because we see him day in, day out. He's such a good goalkeeper. Credit goes to him. We're just gutted that he couldn't keep the clean sheet, 'cause I think his saves definitely deserved it. And he's a fantastic goalkeeper.
Well, he may be the third choice goalkeeper, but he had a good and eventful afternoon, didn't he, Freddie Woodman?
He really did, and he played his part in Liverpool's back-to-back wins at Anfield. I think for someone that's making their first Premier League start, he was really, really impressive, and especially against Crystal Palace, because they throw all different sorts of problems. You've got Mateta that's coming back into a bit of form and save of the game, and I think in terms of importance, it leads to Liverpool's goal. I think being able to parry it out into an area and allowing Liverpool to go and attack with the intensity. And Andy Robertson, how fitting it is to go and score at Anfield after he's announced that he's leaving at the end of the season. But this save here, I think, from 6 yards out, to get a really good hand on it and allow players to... And his mate, Alisson Becker's really happy with it as well. But I think overall, when he was needed and when he needed to be counted on, he really did well. And I think in terms of being 29, making your first Premier League start, you've got to be ready with all the training that you do. And of course, there's got to be questions about this. In terms of, for me personally, I think Palace did the right thing in terms of what a great finish. I think maybe Van Dijk and Konate can react a little bit better, but don't stop until the whistle's gone. But overall, I do think he had a great performance. He has a big influence on this Liverpool win today, and there's a really bright future ahead of him.
Well, I think we're mainly of the opinion, aren't we, as Glasson said, that he might not have seen that the goalkeeper was down. Are we or not?
I don't know, but I think for me, I'm saying that I've definitely tried to shoot there, and it's a great finish from Munoz, if I'm being honest. Liverpool were really slow to react, but I think from a Palace point of view, they got really dominated by Liverpool today.
Just quickly, the one thing that probably shouldn't be lost there is that was Alexander Isak's first Premier League goal at Anfield for Liverpool.
Quite remarkable. Expensive goals. There's only 4 this season, 125 million, but great pace about him. He can have a good finish to the season and maybe a good World Cup, but it's been disappointing for him.